Lots of Jadeveon Clowney questions, as you would expect. And Bob from Mayfield Village is going to lead us off. Bob is not a fan of the Browns signing Jadeveon Clowney. So he says, "Hey, Mary Kay, why should the Browns waste precious cap dollars on a former first-round draft pick who A, has not lived up to his potential, B, can't be relied upon to stay on the field due to injury, C, doesn't sack the quarterback, and D, hasn't been wanted by any of his three former teams?" We start with this because you and I was a little late to the party, but you and I have both sort of advocated for Jadeveon Clowney signing here and him being a member of the Cleveland Browns. So I guess, how do you respond to Bob?
Well, first of all, I think Jadeveon Clowney at the right price would be a really good value. And I think that's the whole key. I mean, if they had to pay him $16 million this year, then no, I don't think I would be for it. And you wouldn't be for it. Right. So
Right.
It's really about right player at the right price. And I think they can get him at a tremendous bargain this year, coming off of the torn meniscus. They were willing to pay him a ton of money last year. He's really not that much of a different player than he was heading into last year, except for the fact that he suffered a torn meniscus and underwent surgery. He's only 28 years old. This is not a 32-year-old player. He's 28 years old, and he pretty much, I think he just turned 28 recently. So therefore, I think he does still have plenty left in the tank as long as he's healthy. So if you can get him for whatever, $6 million or $6.5 million plus some incentives, I think that brings very good value. And even though he doesn't get to the quarterback, he's an elite run defender. He's been in the 95th percentile, according to Pro Football Focus, in every year of his career as an edge run defender. And I think that's important.
I'll mention something I texted out. Bob probably saw this already, but to everyone else, I texted it out this morning because he's a very divisive player for Browns fans, and I think probably any team that's going to sign him. But when you really dig in, even though the sack numbers aren't always there, the first 7 weeks last year, he was 16th among edge rushers with 22 pressures, which is the same number as Bradley Chubb and another guy the Browns consider J.J. Watt, and just 3 behind Carl Lawson, who made a boatload of money this offseason. Again, this is the first 7 weeks when Clowney was healthy. His 6 quarterback hits were tied for 8th. His 16 hurries were tied for 9th. And he also tied for the most batted passes with 3. We're talking about a guy who would be your second pass rusher here, your second edge rusher, or part of a platoon of second edge rushers with Takk McKinley, and a guy who's versatile and can move inside a little bit as well.
Those are some tremendous numbers that you're citing there, Dan. I mean, that shows you right there what an impact he can make when he's healthy. It's the same thing with Olivier Vernon, right? And he is actually a step above Olivier Vernon. But when Olivier Vernon is healthy, he makes a difference. He makes an impact. And that is somebody that's going to affect the quarterback, get him off of his mark, and also be an elite force against the run. I think he makes a good 1-2 combo with Takk, in that Takk is more known for getting to the quarterback, and Jadeveon Clowney is a little bit more known for his run defense. So you put those guys together and have a rotation there. You can do some interesting things with matchups. I just think it makes a ton of sense.
This is from the 567 area code. How do the Browns make the money work with Clowney? They have extensions coming, and they've used salary cap space a lot this offseason. Is this a one-year deal, or is there a multi-year deal on the table? How are they going to approach the money with Clowney here?
I have a feeling it would probably be a one-year deal. That he might want that so that he can kind of get healthy and get back on his feet as well. The Browns probably would want him to have sort of that one-year contract year, sort of prove it thing going with him. So I would think that's probably what they would do. There could be a multi-year offer on the table. They made him one last year, a very lucrative multi-year offer last year. So perhaps they're going back and forth over that. Not really 100% certain about that. But the way, once again, that you can make it work is to have an incentive-laden contract where you give him a nice base, you give him some good signing bonus money up front to sweeten the pot a little bit, and then you add in some performance-based incentives, and everyone is happy. The situation has to be right for him. And I think that's what he's doing. He's making sure that this is a fit. Now, along the way, I saw Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported today that the Ravens and the Colts are also sort of keeping him in mind. Now, the Ravens are bringing in Justin Houston from the Colts as well, a little bit of an older pass rusher, but still an excellent one. So they're kind of kicking the tires on a few guys still. And maybe that is contributing to this sort of hesitancy to quickly sign when maybe there's no rush for him. Maybe he wants to see if he drums up a little interest. And it's like when you put an offer in on a house, suddenly 3 other people put an offer in on a house that there was no interest in before that. That's what happens with these free agents too. When someone gets interested in signing them, then it perks up the ears of some other team. So perhaps that's going on right now. Cleveland is the only team that he has visited so far. So it'll be interesting to see, will he want to take any other visits, or is he ready to sign here?